Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, I hope everybody's doing okay this morning. Let me check my sound. Always check your sound. I gotta make t-shirts. And that will be one of the things. Always check your sound. And you can read whatever philosophical meaning into it you want, or just the material meaning, and literally check your sound. I'm always enamored sometimes by people. And I don't mean enamored in a good way, maybe in this kind of ignoble way. Shame. The amount of shame that a human being can somehow bear. It's almost like a mutant ability. Politicians, they walk around, in this case, looking into the camera, and they would say something to you. And then a day later, they would look into the exact same camera and say the opposite thing to you, modified slightly based on the word choice that they're using. Trying to say nothing while saying a lot. It's when those rare moments where those things collide because the politics of a particular environment changes. Meaning, Obama trying to put policy where he's sending people back, and in some cases, yes, also separating kids from their mothers. Not a big deal back during his time. Now it's a big deal. The political winds have changed. Hillary Clinton would have been perfectly willing to kick kids out and send them back to their home countries. Again, the political winds have changed. Now both Obama and Clinton out bashing their old policies, or at the very least the excesses of their policies. Let's say it that way. Debra Wasserman Shultz is also one of these corrupt, shameless people who walks around saying things and then repudiate her own thing. Straight face. No issue. I'm always amazed by this. I always think to myself, how much shame can one person bear before their spine breaks? And what is the mutant gene that allows these people to bear this much shame, like the Incredible Hulk, this Herculean effort of shamelessness? Debra Wasserman Shultz, in the first video, in fact, I'm just going to play the audio. Listen to what the Sun Sentinel, listen to what she says about shelters in the first bit of audio. I don't want to play the video because I don't want them to hit me with a copyright strike. Yeah, I'm fearful. Let's listen.
Migrant children taken from their families are being held in South Florida. She said the practice of separating children is outrageous, sadistic, and demonic.
She said the practice of separating children from their mothers is sadistic, immoral, and satanic. Let me play that again. That's just an interesting word choice. Let's try that one more time.
Children is outrageous, sadistic, and demonic.
We're still...
Okay. It's outrageous, sadistic. Jesus Christ. I'm missing something. My brain is not working. Outrageous, sadistic, and what was the last one? I'm sorry. I need to play this one more time because I'm amazed by this word choice.
Demonic.
We're still dealing with 22 children.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. She did say demonic. Okay. Sadistic, outrageous, and demonic. All right. She has strong feelings about these centers where they're keeping these kids. Clearly, she has strong feelings about this stuff. Well, if you have strong feelings about this stuff, there's not going to be a tape where you're caught saying that you're trying to build more of these centers in your district, is it? Of course, there's a tape where she's talking about building more of these centers in her district.
One of the issues that your opponent has raised was your support in 2011, and I think we have actually the letter that you and Senator Bill Nelson signed supporting the for-profit prison to be built in Southwest Ranches. Was that support in 2011 a mistake?
First of all, let's be clear on what that center was. That was an immigration detention center. That was an immigration...
Well, that's inconvenient. Well, that's mighty inconvenient. Even got her name on the document. And I love, she clarified, hey. God damn it. That wasn't a for-profit prison. That was an immigrant detention center. And let's see if that immigrant detention, let's see if there's more. Let's hear more. This video is funny.
it was not a prison. And so I know but there's a big difference between an immigration detention center and a prison. There's a big difference between an immigration detention center and a prison. There's a big difference between an immigration detention center and a prison. There are prisons all the way out.
But it was a for-profit entity that was going to run it.
That was actually sought by the town of Southwest Ranch.
Ouch! How do you get a hippopotamus out of the marsh? How do you get a hippopotamus out of the marsh? She's drowning. She's like... And he's like, but wait a minute. That was still for profit, right? I mean, ultimately, you still have a situation where you're putting immigrants in detention centers making money for some plutocrat. You're literally putting money in somebody's private interest by putting people in cages. God, it's so immoral and satanic and demonic. So demonic. The awesome part about this is the stuttering and the drowning man as Tim Canova sits there just looking, gazing, laughing internally. Laughing internally. That is brutal. That is brutal. He's like, he hits you for a for-profit prison. Wait a minute. Wait. That wasn't a for-profit prison. That was a detention center. There's a difference. But it was for-profit, right? Well, the district wanted it. They wanted it. Today, however, the same edifice that she was perfectly okay supporting back in 2011, when nobody cared about this, when nobody cared about the immigrants and immigration issue, now it's demonic and satanic. Let's let her finish. I love this. This is awesome. I don't like Debra Wasserman Shultz, so just a little bit of shot and fraud.
Was it a mistake to send that letter? In hindsight.
No, it wasn't a mistake to be able to try to assist.
U.S. Senator Bill Nelson and Congresswoman Debra Wasserman Shultz arrived to tour this just-revealed compound in Homestead.
We have actually the letter that you and Senator Bill Nelson signed supporting the for-profit prison.
They obviously are hiding something.
The letter that you and Senator Bill Nelson signed.
Dirty little liar.
This was an important economic drive.
They've added a bunch of hysteria to this video, but you get the basic point that ultimately all of these Democrats are running around now with their bleeding hearts. And the reality of it is that they're using this for political grandstanding. I gotta be honest, I'm cynical. I don't believe they care about these issues. These things are political effects. They're just bad at the politics of it. I mean, the moment this started, they should have been screaming and pointing and everything else, and I know they're doing it now, but this woman has been supporting private, for-profit detention centers, the same detention centers where these abuses are taking place right now at this very moment. So, yeah, I could seriously deal with an unmodified video of music. Yeah. So, me too. But I don't have the regular video. The only video that I have of is cut. But you get the point. Yes, they're adding on a bunch of hysteria to it. But you get the point. Debra Wasserman Shultz comes out. Oh my God, these kids. This is satanic and demonic. And then it's like in the debate, like a year? That was in 2016, 2 years ago. And he's like, you are supporting these for-profit detention centers and the abuses that have taken place at those detention centers. Do you know they were trying to force people in those centers to work for them, believing that because essentially they have all of this power in this particular center, that they can essentially force people to work for like 8 cents on a dollar or some insane amount. These things were ghastly and gross, and there should not have been any kind of private enterprise or private gain in this process. But again, you have Debra Wasserman Shultz, Democratic Party. I'm still a sucker for background music. David Bauer. I'm not a sucker for background music. Balthazar. Bid Nelson's signature is also there, replacing the confused python on X's and Rick Scott with an alligator. You're still in a swamp. Understand what we're saying here. You take somebody who's trying to make profit, who's trying to maximize their profit, and the way in which you're allowing them to maximize their profit is by taking a human being and putting that human being into a cage, meaning their business model is enhanced the more people you put into cages. Now, what do these people do when these people try to influence and lobby in Congress? And what are they actually lobbying Congress for? And do you really want an edifice that is lobbying in Congress to put more people in prison? This makes no sense. This is an utterly corrupt industry. This is kind of the point that I'm trying to get at. There's a social need to not do this, to not allow these type of things to take place. But I don't understand why those things have to be communicated to the likes of Debra Wasserman Shultz and the Democratic Party if they're actually representing human beings. If they cared about these issues, you're not having centers like this that are purely for profit. I mean, come on. I'm just saying, I don't have this belief that the Democratic Party cares about these things. They care about the optics. They care about the politics. Ends there. They're going to hit and punch Donald Trump to the degree that they can hit and punch Donald Trump, and they're going to squeeze every immigrant kid that they can squeeze. Like, look at this baby screaming for his mama. Squeeze it. Scream for your mama. We need all the effect that we can get. These telegenic immigrants that Democrats are using and rubbing themselves on. I'm supposed to believe the Democrats care? No, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I think this is for political effect. Call me a cynical SOB. That may be true, but I don't necessarily think I'm wrong. All of the politics here lead towards bleeding this issue for whatever you can get. They've tried everything. None of that stuff is stick. Donald Trump has been like Teflon, but they haven't necessarily hit him on the things where they should have been hitting him on, like real shit, not this Russian nonsense. What is he doing to the environment? What is he doing to these taxes? They're going after Social Security and Medicare. You hit him on real things. But those aren't conversations you want to have. Those conversations get into class. And as we know, the Democratic Party no longer have those conversations about class, the conversations that need to be had. So instead, you hit him with piddly shit. And when you finally find something that you can actually stick into his woolly hide, you ride it for all it's worth. Using it, once again, even though it's a real issue, to obfuscate from the main issue that affects our society. Yes, I'm sitting.